Right, not a very pleasant day today. Been raining all day, but it has at least stopped now. Although we may catch some on the way home, who knows. Okay, I've had several attempts at trying to get a decent video. This new setup. I've got a GoPro Hero 4 attached to the chin guard of the crash helmet, and then got a external mic coming in. Now, the problems I had with this crash helmet before was that tremendous wind noise. So I've fitted a foam cover over the top, which is supposed to stop the wind. And well, it was recommended to me by a friend, and he did a quick video, short video, of the effect it had on his, and it was quite remarkable. Before, you could hardly hear anything apart from the wind, and then he put this on, and the wind noise went completely. It was very good. You could hear the exhaust and the bike and everything. So I thought I'd have a go. So I tried it the other day, and I'm not really sure what happened. The audio was perfect up to about 30 miles an hour, and then it started to distort, break up, and it wasn't the wind. It wasn't the wind noise, it was just a distortion. So anyway, I've put a different microphone on, and I've also replaced the SD card with a better quality one. So we'll see. I tried it this morning, but the battery went before it even got out of the village, so I wasn't able to test it at sort of increased speeds. So hopefully you can hear this okay, and this will be a successful video. Okay, so we've nearly done 1,600 miles now on the Interceptor, so she's fully running, and I'm able to sort of open her up. To be honest with you, I rarely take her above 5,000 RPM. That gives pretty brisk acceleration, and 5,000 RPM in top gear is about 75 miles an hour, and you know, that's, I wouldn't want to travel much faster than that on a naked bike. As you can see in the front now, I have fitted a small fly screen. It's made by a company called, well, I think it's pronounced Puig. I'm sure someone will correct me. Puig. I had it on the Moto Guzzi, and it was quite effective on that, so I took it off that and put it on the Interceptor. I mean, it literally took sort of 30 seconds to put on, because all you do is loosen the two bolts either side of the headline, slots in and tighten up, and the job's done. And what I found is, though, that if you angle the screen fairly vertical, that gives the best effect. Pushes the wind off over your crash helmet, and then it's not, so it gives reasonable protection, and also cuts down the wind noise. If you angle it back further, although it looks better, it channels the wind straight at you, so it's very noisy. So I think I've got it set up basically, you know, to get a balance between aesthetic looks and the effectiveness of it. The main thing I've changed on the Interceptor, if you've seen previous videos, are the silencers. To me, they appear to have sort of mellowed a bit. When I first put them on, I thought, oh dear, he's going to be a bit too loud. but over time they've mellowed. Maybe I've just got used to them. But I distinctly think that they produce a sort of a more deeper, mellow sound. Really pleased with the fuel consumption. Now I was getting between 75 80 miles per gallon on the Enfield, on the Classic, which I thought was pretty good. But I'm getting almost the same on the Interceptor, which is quite remarkable because we're going along at a bit quicker pace, and particularly in acceleration. I'm accelerating a lot harder because mainly she will rev and it's smoother than that. So I don't know how they managed it, but I'm getting about 74 to the gallon from this 650 twin, so I'm very pleased with that. Handling wise, well, she's a delight. Very light, very flickable and stable. I know they built the bike down to a price, and they're not expensive components on here, but I think it's the frame really. It's extremely good frame. They've got the setup really nice. The gearbox is very slick, just a small prod and you're in, changing up or changing down. I would say the only thing about the gearing is that with the torque that it produces, because it does produce a good amount of torque, and interestingly enough, the torque, what I've read, is that it produces 80% of its torque below 2,500 RPM, which is brilliant, because that's where you want it. Because of that, I would say that you could probably take, certainly the 6th gear could be taller. I did just try and note to see what the difference was between 5th and 6th, and at 60 miles an hour there's only 300 RPM, which is really not a lot, and so I'm personally thinking maybe the 6th could have been a bit taller, had to be more of an overdraft. That might have make it a bit more relaxed at sort of motorway speeds, perhaps a little bit more economical, but the economy's good anyway. So just a little thing there. Just one of the other things that I've noted is, and a lot of people have said about this, and that's the positioning of the footrests. They just seem to be exactly where you want to put your foot down, which means you've either got to sort of straddle over them or put your feet behind them. I have whacked them once, which was very painful, although I'm aware of them now, and they're not a problem, but certainly when I first got the bike they were proving a bit of a problem. So there's that. But I can't really think of anything else that I dislike about it. Inevitably you change small things. I'm thinking about putting the risers excuse me, on the handlebars, just so that you're sitting a little bit more upright. We've got the clock on there, as you can see. I stick them on all the bikes because it's just so handy to have a clock just to look at it there. What I will do is I will stop part way home and just do a walk around with you, just show some of the things I've changed. If you're interested. So we've moved now. We've live a little bit further away from work. It's about a 30-35 minute ride, mainly through country lanes like this, which is great. A bit on the A47. Yeah, I mean it just gives you more time on the bike, so no complaints. We've had a pretty miserable summer here in the UK though, as you can see, you know, here we are, beginning of August, and it's horrible weather. Off. So yeah, this is what we're going to do now. Is we're going to head towards Haringworth Viaduct, which is a pretty impressive piece of building or bridge. Opened in 1878. It's just under 1.25 kilometres long. Got 80 arches, and I read it's the longest viaduct, brick-built viaduct in the UK. Anyway, we should be coming to that later. What else have I done? Well, the thing that you can see just here, it's made by a company called Beeline, and it is a navigation system. It's connected to an app on your phone, but it's a bit like a compass the way it works. I haven't got anything programming because I know where I'm going, but here we go again. Yeah, it works like a compass. It just basically has a needle that shows you which direction to go, and when to turn and that. So specifically designed for motorcycles. They were looking for investors last year to get it into production, and so I sent a bit of money off. I suppose a bit of a gamble, really, but they were very good. They kept you informed the progress every month. You know, they told you, and then it got nearer and nearer, and then eventually it was in full production, and I've got one of the first. So I think what I will do is maybe do a review of it separately. Once I know how to use it. I know this is sort of people have got very mixed opinions on backs and top boxes and so forth, but I took my daughter for a ride on the back. She found it quite comfortable, but the only thing she said she would prefer is if there was some sort of backrest, she'd feel a bit more secure, and I think that's true of most bikes for pinions. So it was a sort of a choice of trying to find a rack. Now here we go, I'll come back to that in a minute. So this is the Haringworth Viaduct. It's a shame you don't really get the full view of what it's like. But it goes for over a kilometre with 80 of these arches. But what I'll do now is I'll just stop up here, and you can have a look at around the bike. Right. I'll leave the motor running for a moment. Okay, yes, talking about rack, most people have got different opinions about racks and top boxes, but Rachel said that she'd prefer a backrest. So as I say, it was a choice of getting a rack with a backrest or getting a top box, and then this one pops up in sale, so you can see it's got your backrest there. It's a fairly small one, so it doesn't stick out too much. And XL Motto were selling them off for $9.99, so I really couldn't complain. The rack comes from India. It costs £45. It's not the best quality, but as you can see, the top box hides most of it. I was able to use the rubber grommets that were on the grab rail and fit them in the end of the rack there. So they're the exhausts, which you've probably seen if you've seen my other videos. This is something I generally put on a lot of my bikes, and that's a helmet lock. Quite handy, although this will hold a full face crash helmet even with the camera on. But for an additional one you can put it on there. You need to be careful, of course, when you position it, because the exhaust will be hot. The screen I've spoken about already, and just a chrome cover from Hitchcock's to replace the black one that was on there. And that's it for the time being. Really pleased with her, and enjoying the ownership. Right then, let's carry on, and let's hope we don't have too many of all the gritting again. Viaduct is still in use. It's mainly used for commercial road travel now, and although a couple of months ago the Flying Scotsman did go across it. So the Flying Scotsman is a very famous steam engine here in the UK. About it at the weekend. She said that she'd actually been on it when it was still running, you know. In fact, it was quite new. But still, well, she's 89, so I think I'm not sure when the Flying Scotsman started, but I think she went on it, I guess, early 1950s. I think it comes from the 1930s. So we've arrived at the A47 now. farm equipment. Got a farm involved in a trailer there on its side. They're closing this 26th of August. What on earth for? Here we are coming to Oxford. We'll be crossing over another interesting bridge. Not that I've got a sort of fetish about bridges. It just so happens that there's these two interesting ones on the route home. This is a stone bridge which crosses over the River Nene, and it dates back to 1577. Now, at one time this used to be the A1, believe it or not, which is the main trunk road between London and Edinburgh. But it was bypassed in 1929. But you can imagine even back then the bottlenecks on this single track bridge. But yes, 1577 it started, added to in the 1600s, and then the end bit here is the most modern bit, which dates from 1795, crossing over the River Nene there. So quite lovely. 12 arches, which a number of them now sort of silted up. .650 Interceptor. Well, I hope you enjoyed the short video.